Next topic is jar. Jar stands for Java Archive Tool. So we are going to see how we can use this jar tool that comes with JDK, and we are going to see how we can package an application into a jar file. And the jar file in the class path, that's something that we have exercised in class path presentation. And we are going to see how we can use a third-party tool called the jarscan. So jarscan could be used to find whether a particular class is in any of the jar files in a current directory, or in a directory and in subdirectories. Okay, and then we'll talk about jarsigner utility. So jar tool. So jar tool is a general purpose archiving and compression tool based on zip and zip compression format. So basically, you can think of jar is the same thing as any zip utility that you used to, like a WinZip or the zip. This is basically the same thing. Okay. So it's designed mainly to facilitate packaging of a set of Java classes into a single archive. So why making a jar file from your application is useful? Okay, by having all these files into class files into a single jar file, it is much easier to transport your application. For example, if you actually build, let's say, applet, we haven't really talked about the applet in this course. The applet is an application that is coming from the web to the browser. Okay, and the browser's Java runtime will run that applet just as if it is a Java application. Okay, so what it means is that all your classes have to be coming from the web. Okay, now if you have your classes, if you happen to have, let's say, 100 classes individual, and if you have not created a single jar file, then your applet has to go to the network, and get all those 100 files individually. Okay, but having these files into a single jar file, the browser will actually go to the web and actually download the single jar file, and that jar file should actually contain those 100 class files. Okay, so basically improve the download time if your application has to be downloaded. Okay, so jar, that's actually one reason. Jar also compresses the files, so further improves the download time. So jar is actually compressing your class files. Okay, so it will actually reduce the size of the file too. So jar archive can be used as a class path entry whether it is compressed or not. Okay, so again, if you are trying to provide a library of classes, right, having those classes in the form of a jar file, let your user of your the files to include in a class path in a very simple fashion. They have to just include a single jar file rather than all those classes. Okay. So how to use a jar command? Basically, you are going to say jar cvf or cf. V means the verbs. So if you just to say jar and cf and myfile.jar and start.class, that means whatever class files in the current directory will be captured into a single myfile.jar file. Okay, and then it also creates a manifest file on the meta-inf directory. Okay, so this manifest.mf file gets created on the meta-inf directory by this jar tool. So this manifest file is a place where this is a file that you can actually place some meta information about the archive. Okay, we'll talk about some of the examples of some of the meta information you could actually have in manifest.mf file later on. So these are common jar file operations. To create a jar file, you say jar cf and name of the jar file and input files. To view the contents of the jar file, you say jar tf and the name of the file. And to extract the contents of a jar file, you say jar xf and jar file. And to extract specific file from a jar file, you say jar cf and jar file and archive files, the files that you want to extract. Okay, so I'm gonna actually finish the presentation and then I'll let you guys to play around it. So exercise 1 is playing around with the jar tool. Packaging an application into a jar file. What it means is that sometimes you want to run your jar package application with a Java interpreter like this: Java minus jar file. Okay. Instead of you say Java and then you provide the class path, and then you provide the name of the main class. That's the way that we've been running Java application at the command line, right? Meaning you have to provide the name of the main class, meaning the class that contains a main method, and then you also have to specify the class path, right? Now, by containing everything in the jar file and also indicating what is the main class in the manifest file, you could actually let the user to run your application by using Java minus jar and jar file. This is a lot more convenient for your users running your application. Okay, so we'll see how we can do this. So jar flag tells the Java runtime that application is packaged in the jar file format, and you can only specify one jar file which must contain all application specific code including main class. Now you have to specify what is the main method, okay, in the manifest file in this case. So inside your manifest.mf file you are going to add this line: main class and the name of the main class, main class. Okay, so main class, this is a key word and then keyword, and then you have to specify the actual name of your main class. So what jar command does in this case is that it will take a look at whether jar file contains a manifest file, and inside the manifest file it will try to find main class. Okay, and if it finds it, then it will run that main method of that main class. Okay. All right. So so this is an example. Suppose I have my package and my class, and my package and my class contains a main method. Okay, so I am going to create the manifest. I can actually add this one into the manifest file. Okay, so default file is a manifest.mf file. Okay, so I can add this line to the manifest file. Okay, so manifest file doesn't have to be manifest.mf file format. You can actually name it in any way you want. So you can specify jar cfm and your jar file, and then manifest file, and then class. So in this case, basically, you are indicating that my class is my main method. My class is my main class, meaning it contains a main method under my package. Okay, so that is going to be exercise 2. Adding classes to the jar file's class path. So this is something that we have done before, right? So when we were exercising class path, right, you were able to specify multiple jar files. Okay, so Windows you're going to use a semicolon, and for Linux and Mac OS you're going to use colon. Jarscan utility. So Jarscan utility is very useful. So sometimes, if you happen to have many jar files, typically you are going to use a lot of jar files from JDK and also from third-party, libraries. And sometimes you want to find out, let's say you got like, the 200 jar files that you're using in your application, and sometimes you find, class not found exception. So what you want to do is you want to find out if there is in fact any jar file that contains that particular class. Okay, so you can use this jarscan command. So jar minus jar and then jarscan.jar. You can tell that jarscan.jar file is actually application packaged jar file. Okay, and then you specify where you want to find my class. Okay, so what happens in this case? My class will be searched on all the jar files under this current directory. Okay. All right. So we're going to try the jarscan in exercise 3. Jarsigner is actually to sign the jar file. Okay. So whenever you are actually when the jar file is being downloaded from the web, the browser might want to actually make sure that jar file is really a genuine one. You don't, the browser doesn't want to get the jar file that is actually coming from some fake or predator, or the some bogus place, right? So in that case, if you want to actually provide a jar file on the web so that your users can actually download it, you can sign it. Okay, so once you sign it, especially with the certificate from some credible certificate authorities such as a VeriSign, then your users will be assured that the jar file that they got from you is in fact the genuine one. Okay, so jarsigner is actually provided as part of the JDK, and lets you actually to sign your jar file. Okay, all right, so let's take a look at the hands-on lab documentation. Jar. So the first exercise, a jar utility command. So you can on the my project you could create the so we're gonna actually work on the command line tools, because we are using jar command at the command line. So you're gonna actually create the main Java on the my package, and then write the Persian Java on the my package, okay, and hobby Java on the my package, and then you verify this my packages directory contains these 3 Java files, okay, and then you're going to compile. Okay, so you say Java C, and -d means I want to have the compiler to place the class files into a separate directory of build instead of the current directory, and this is the correct class path of current directory, and these are the Java files I like to compile. So when I run the application, and it runs fine. So here I'm actually specifying my main path. Okay, so display jar help, so you can actually see various help, various options for running jar. Okay, so you can actually build a jar file. So I can say jar cvf, and I'm actually creating the myjar.jar file on the dist directory, from build directory. Okay, from build and current directory. Okay, and then I can still run. So once I create a jar file, then I can provide class path in the form of jar file rather than directory. Okay. Now so in exercise 1, even though we create a jar file, we still have to provide the location of the main class, meaning the class that contains a main method. So in exercise 2, we are going to create the manifest file. So we are going to create the manifest file on the src directory, and then here you are going to specify the location of your main class. Okay, so you say main class and colon and my package.main, and make sure you have a blank at the end. If you don't have a blank line, sometimes the jar command get confused. So make sure that you have a blank line. So basically now we have a manifest file that indicates which class is the main class. Okay, so now we are going to create the brand new jar file, so under this directory. Okay, so we are basically providing the manifest file, and then the class files. So we created myjar2 jar file. Okay, now we can actually run java -jar, and here. So okay, so this is actually troubleshooting. If you have this problem, it's because you did not actually add a blank line at the end. So when you run the application, it should actually run. Okay, like this. So that's exercise 2. Exercise 3 is a jarscan utility. So basically you can go to any directory of your choice, and so the jarscan is provided as part of the hands-on lab directory. Okay, so basically java jar and the jarscan, and then basically I'm going to search a current directory of Persian class. Okay, and so I'm actually looking for handler ref from the current directory. Okay, so I'm actually, suppose I want to find a particular jar file that contains this particular class in the Tomcat. Okay, so yeah, so maybe let me just show you. So I'm gonna go to JDK. Okay, so I'm gonna go to Java, and I'm gonna go to JDK 170 and 25. And obviously there is a lot of jar files, right? So here from these jar files, I like to find out which jar file contains, for example, like a string class, okay, or integer class, okay. So what I can do is, yeah, I actually have a the batch file called the jarscan, in fact. So I say jarscan.bat file. So this is basically what I'm running, okay, this one, okay. So I'm gonna just copy this one, and I'm gonna go to again. So let me just go over here. So I'm gonna say, oops, I'm going to say, so it's basically looking for current this string class, well, let's say integer class from this directory and under. So it searches all the directories under this directory. Okay, so let's see whether it actually finds it. Oops. Let's see. Oh, okay, so it's actually looking for download. Okay, so maybe I don't have this download right here. So yeah, jarscan. Oh, so it's there. So let's go to Java, yeah, JDK. So I'm gonna choose my batch file, just okay, so jarscan in my case, jarscan string. So it's actually it's searching for all the jar files in that directory. So there are in fact 322 jar files on the JDK, and yeah, so these are all the classes, all the jar files that contains various class that contains string. Okay, so this is actually string, and this is actually string match code type. So if I want to actually search for just this one, okay, so I'm gonna just search for jarscan like this, and it searched for 322 jar files, and it finds that only two the jar files, eBay client and eBay server, that contains these two class. Okay, all right. So that is a jarscan. It's very convenient to find out, the whether certain the jar files in a directory and its subdirectories contains the class file I want. Okay, all right. So I'm gonna give you about 15 minutes to let you guys do this. How about actually 10 minutes? Because I like to actually finish 30 minutes at least the framework.